Okay, so the 10th chapter is called The Opulence of the Absolute. And here's a review. We've done the first two sections, not knowing that Krishna is knowable and the source of all. 8 to 11 was the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, pure bhakti essence of the Bhagavad Gita. Then 12 to 18, Arjun accepts Krishna's supreme position. This is what we did in our last class. And today we'll begin with Lord Krishna describing his vibhutis from verse number 19. You open that in my book also. So in the last class, Arjun refers to previous authorities, thus confirms Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, also by his own realization, prays to Krishna to hear more of his glories, so that he can always think of him and remember him. Otherwise, Krishna will remain unknowable. So for the common people who cannot think of Krishna all the time, he requests Krishna to speak of his opulences or his vibhutis. So this was Arjuna's request. Arjuna said, "You are Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate of both, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Sita, Devala, Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me." And we saw this, how evidence of Krishna being the Supreme. There is scriptural and there is also experiential. Then he says, "O Krishna, I totally accept everything you've told me as the truth, O Lord. Neither gods nor the demigods can understand you, your true identity." 2 points in this verse. I accept what you say is true, and I also acknowledge that it is not easy to understand. It requires more purification for me to understand. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own potencies, O origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of all God of gods, O supreme person, Lord of the universe. So many epithets. 5 Purushottama Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha Devadeva Jagatpate. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. So he's asking for the common people. O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? So that Krishna can become our satisfying object of thought. This is the question raised by Arjuna. So every question that Arjun is asking relates so much to us, right? In the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Always think of me." So, how to always think of him is what is asked by Arjuna. How, when we look around in this material world at various things, various material objects, through those, how is it possible to think of you? And Krishna will speak of his glories. O Janardana, again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I'm never satiated in hearing about you, for the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. Right, so we spoke about how there's good book, great book, and there's greatest book where you can derive more and more deeper meaning. And this is spiritual knowledge where every time we read, there's a new and deeper realization. We saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to listen to Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit, and every time there was the pastime of Dhruv Maharaj or Prahlad Maharaj, he wanted to hear again and again and again, cherishing the love of his devotees. We'll begin today's class, 19th verse, where Krishna starts to speak. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Hantate Katyashyami Deva Divya Hi Atma Vibhutaya Pradhanyata Kurusheshta Nasti Anto Vistarasya Me. Somebody can read the translation.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Yes, I will tell you of my splendorous
Sorry.
manifestation. Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
I'm sorry
I
for
will tell
both.
you
Go
my
ahead.
okay. My splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent. O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. Haribol.
You, Prabhu. So Krishna, oh, I think my video. Yeah. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Hanta te kathayishyami. Hanta means yes, yes, O Arjuna. It's an expression of joy, right? Somebody's asking us something and we really want to share those things. Yes, yes, I will tell you about it. So Hanta, Krishna says, yes, te kathashyami, I will tell you. Yes, I will speak. Divya hi Atma Vibhutaya. My glories and opulences are Divya, they're divine. Pradhaya, Pradhanyan, Pradhayataha Kurushreshta, O Kurushreshta, or principal amongst all the Kurus. I will tell you of all those which are Pradhana, which are the principal ones. Out of all of those, I have so many glories and opulences, but I will speak about those which are the Pradhana or the principal ones. Nasti Anto Vistarasya me, because my glories are endless. There is no ant, there is no limit to my opulences. So we take this example of how if a person, there's a party going on, a person enters and somebody asks him to introduce himself, and he's like, yes, yes, now I will introduce myself. My glories are unlimited. So it'll show a little bit of ego on that person's part, but here Acharya says there is no ego in Krishna when he speaks about his opulences, or when he's eager to speak about his opulences. It is very natural, because understanding Krishna's glories, we will get attracted, and that is what Krishna wants, to attract us so that we can go out of this material world, go back to the spiritual world through that attractiveness of Krishna. Okay, so Krishna's humble position, our acharyas also tell us, it is that he's sitting like a chauffeur, right? And in that position, he's saying, okay, I'll speak about my glories. So the position, or the physical position of Krishna, which is such humility, also shows that there is no ego. And here we see there is a patient. By an example, we're going to understand a patient coming to a doctor, and the doctor says, seeing your charts, your x-rays, or whatever, your blood reports, I have come to the and your ultrasound, I've come to the conclusion that the surgery is very important and it has to be performed so that you can survive. And the patient is thinking, oh no, I have to go through a surgery. Maybe this doctor, I shouldn't trust him completely. Maybe he's just after money. This happens, right, in this material world. Let me take a second opinion. Why is he talking like this? Maybe I don't need a surgery. Maybe another doctor will cure me with some medications. And if that doctor says, I have 30 years of experience, you're thinking of going to, I can read your mind, you're thinking of going to other doctors, you can do that. But I'm the one in this field who have trained these other doctors in this whole state or whatever. So when he gets to know, okay, this doctor is very experienced, he's the one who's trained all others, who will I go to? Everybody is junior than him. Then let me just go by what he's saying. So that's how Krishna, when he says, I am the greatest, or my opulences are limitless, it's because every other opulence that we see in this world or in other devtas is coming from Krishna himself. So people are hesitant. Should we surrender to Krishna? Some verses do say speak like this. Dhanishe, what is that verse? All the wealth, I steal away all the wealth of the devotees whom I show special mercy to. Right? So should I surrender to Krishna, or should I just look at other demigods and maybe come to Krishna in the end. Okay, Krishna may be the supreme, but I don't want to lose my wealth in that way. Slowly, Krishna says it's not that suddenly I'll take away your wealth. Krishna says I'll do that slowly, slowly, so that we don't rely on the material wealth, we rely on His mercy. So let's talk about. Okay, here. To the extent we are attracted to the things in this world, to that extent we are diseased. This is also coming from our acharyas, that misdirection is the cause of our suffering. Krishna is giving all of us an opportunity to redirect our attention from the things of this world to the Lord who is the source of everything in this world. So Krishna in the coming verses is going to talk about the opulences or his vibhutis, but he's connecting them to the material things in this world and which are very opulent and which when we see, we feel that they're so powerful and we get attracted to them. But Krishna is connecting them, saying that all of those are coming from just a spark of my splendor. So, by telling us this, giving us this philosophical knowledge that Krishna is the source of everything opulent that we see, or beautiful or powerful that we see, that redirection of our desires is what is required. That yes, there are many attractive things in this world, and they are all but sparks of my splendor. And that is the process of healing. Healing what? Our disease in this world. That misdirection is the disease or the cause of our suffering. We are looking our hopes and our means to satisfy our own needs and desires. We're looking at the material things around us for that. But when we direct from those, when we move our attention from these things towards Krishna, then that becomes the cure of our disease. And that is what is required, and that is what Krishna is going to do. So vibhuti, let's see how is this word has come about. Bhuta means being or existence. Vi means special. Vibhuti means special existence or manifestation, or those bhutis that are special, those material manifestations that have some special attraction. So if you look at some logs of wood, right? You see on the left side, some logs of wood, there's nothing special about it. But on the right, if you see the same one of those logs, a person has taken and carved this wonderful, figure out of it. Now, this has become a special out of all of those woods, right? Those trunks of trees, out of those, this one is standing apart because it's special. So, Bhuta is special being or existence, and Vibhuti is special manifestation, and this is what it is. Out of so many, one is special. So, Vibhuti, the extraordinary manifestation of this world, and this is also called Vibhuti Yoga. This chapter is also called Vibhuti Yoga, where the connection through the Vibhutis. So, Vibhuti Yoga, what is it? How the special things that attract our attention can be connected with Krishna so that we can become attracted to Krishna instead of those things. Any questions on this, or this is easy to understand?
नहीं अच्छा था उसके बाद फालतू
I didn't understand, or maybe somebody is this, they're unmuted. Okay, this is easy to understand. What is Vibhuti and what is Vibhuti Yoga? Yoga means connection with the Supreme. So, through the vibhutis in this world, which are special manifestations, how we can connect with Krishna so that our attraction, it does not go towards those vibhutis, but towards Krishna. Yes, we can give a thumbs up if we understand. If not, then we can ask a question. Okay, everybody understands. All right. Let's keep going. So, attraction for various manifestations in the material world in the form of power, strength, fame, beauty, etc., 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 leads to bhoga, not to yoga. So, here on the left, you see examples of people who are opulent in a certain field, certain area, right? In power or fame, there's a sports person who's very, very, in demand or whatever because of his skills and his strength. And there's because of that, there is fame. There is a singer who's also beautiful voice, right? Everybody, what happens is people start to worship these people. They become their kind of superheroes and they're like even gods and they start to worship them. Even beautiful sceneries, places like here we see beautiful scenery where there's a mountain, clouds are there, sun is coming up, there's water. So people get so attracted. That's why uh, they want to go to various places. I want to go to Switzerland. That's my dream. Well, what are you going to do there? I want to go see how beautiful the place is. So Krishna is trying to pull our attention from these various people, things of this world towards him by telling how they are getting all these little power, fame, whatever they have, beauty, what they have is just a spark that's coming from me. Vibhuti Yoga draws our attraction towards Krishna by elevating our consciousness from the material to the spiritual level. Krishna tells us how various manifestations in the material world are but a spark of his splendor. So, all these things in the material world, which are vibhutis, they're one among many. So, right, Narendra Modi, one among so many crores of people. He's the one who's powerful as the prime minister. But Krishna is one above many, above all. When there is perception of Krishna, connection from the Vibhuti to Krishna, then that will lead to yoga. It is this connection that Krishna is highlighting in this chapter. Okay, let's keep going. 10.20, where Krishna starts to speak about the Vibhutis. Aham atma gurakesha sarvabhutasya bhutashaya stita aham adishcha madhyam cha bhutanam anta eva cha. Well, still in the next verse, he's going to start speaking about the vibhutis. Let's see what he's speaking here. I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. So, Aham Atma, I am the super soul, O Gudakesha. So, this we've done before. This has come in the first chapter also. Guda means Jagari, Brahma is the Ka, and Shiva is Esha. So Gudakesha means Arjuna, who gives Brahma and Shiva the experience of sweetness of Lord's affection, just as Jagari gives experience of sweetness. Arjuna, by bringing Krishna under his control, how? Because Lord Brahma and Shiva are seeing Krishna, who is the supreme most, our worshipable supreme Lord, has become a chariot driver for this Arjuna. So, how powerful is his bhakti and love for Krishna that he's agreed to take that position? So, by bringing Krishna under his control, gave Brahma and Shiva the opportunity to experience Krishna's sweetness. That's why it's called Gudakesha. Sarva Bhutasya Stita. I'm situated in the hearts of all living beings. So this is what Krishna is saying. I, as super soul, O Gudakesha, am seated in the hearts of all living beings. I am the beginning and the middle and the certainly also the end of all living entities. So let's look at how he's the beginning and the middle and the end. Here, in the purport, let's read. Let's have somebody read this. You can unmute. Prabhupada is saying this in the purport.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead is existing as the Supersoul in all manifested universes. A description of the three Purusha avatars is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests as three features: as Karanodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu in this material manifestation.
And we all know who these Vishnus are. We've done a quiz also, right? Remember, we had pictures of all the Vishnus, and as soon as you see one particular Vishnu, you'll know which Vishnu this is, right? Okay, so let's keep going. The beginning or Adi, the origin or the beginning. And this over here, you can see which Vishnu?
Mahavishnu.
Mahavishnu or
महाविष्णु और कारणोदक्ष
Karanodakshaya Vishnu.
कारणोदक्ष विष्णु
Correct. So he's the beginning of all the universes, right? Right in the beginning, what has come about in this material world is through Karanodakshaya Vishnu. But in each universe, who is the Vishnu? Garbhodakshaya Vishnu.
गर्भोदक्ष विष्णु
So that's the one who is also the beginning. So both of them, the beginning, and then here we see wonderful. I saw these videos and I wanted to put them as slides. The beginning of life, right? So for every jiva, not just human beings, Krishna is the beginning of all living entities. So here we see a wonderful video. Let's watch this. Which one is human amongst all these embryos? See how in the beginning, whether it be any other creature, they all look the same, right? In this picture, you can see one of them is a human, but we don't know which one. Can we tell? We cannot tell. So let's watch this.
कौन सा ह्यूमन
Getting out of this is always a problem for me. Hold on. Anybody knows how to? One time I figured out, but then, oh, here. It's control the back thinking, that key, which goes back and then escape. I remember that now. Okay, so let's come to the next slide where Krishna says, I'm also. So he spoke about how he's the Adi, he's the beginning. He speaks about how he's the Madhyam or the middle. So that's Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, who is taking care of the maintenance. Now, within our heart, he's the super soul, and what is going on inside our heart, inside our body, we also don't have control, right? There are certain things we do have control, but most all of them we don't. So there is systems like digestive system, respiratory system, all of those are functioning on their own, right? Is it on their own? There are devas who are taking care, but then above them is Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, who is seated in the heart and who's bringing all those functions into effect. And then he is the Anta also, or the end, as destruction. Prabhupada says the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the beginning of this universe, the maintainer of the universe, universal manifestations, and the end of all energy also. So, not just maintaining us, but maintaining the universes and also the end of all energy. And is also given in the Guna Avataras that they have these functions to perform of passion, goodness, and ignorance, respectively. Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, manifestations of Krishna himself. Let's keep going. This is 10.21. Adityanam aham Vishnu Jyotisham Ravir Amshuman Marichir Marutam Asmi Nakshatranam Aham Shashi. So now he's starting to pick out a few from all of these manifestations in this material world. He's picking out a few and he's telling how he is the source of them. So he's picking the most prominent, powerful, and the important ones. So amongst the Adityas, he says, I am Vishnu. Of the Adityas, if somebody can read this.
Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of lights, I am the radiant sun. Of the Maruts, I am Marichi. And among the stars, I am the moon. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. So what is Aditya? Aditya is, I have my notes here, so I'm going to read from those. Basically, there's a path of the sky which can be divided into 12 divisions, and according to Vedic cosmology, each division is presided over by one form of Aditya. And amongst them, the most powerful one is Vishnu. So Krishna is saying that I am that Vishnu amongst Adityas, the most powerful one. Then Jyotisham Ravir Amshuman. So he says there are many effulgent objects, but the sun is the most effulgent. So Jyoti, one sun has produced so much energy that it is more than all the other lights combined together. Of all other luminaries combined together, the sun produces most, right? So amongst all the Jyotisham Ravir Amshuman, of all the effulgent objects, I'm Ravi, I'm the sun. Then Marichir Marutam Asmi. So of all the Maruts, is Maruts. Okay, so for example, we know that wind flows, there is a direction the wind flows, sometimes towards north, sometimes towards south, east, or west. We just, from our perception, we can see how the wind is flowing in one direction. But, and the example is given, this was from Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. I heard this example when he spoke about how if you're looking at that board on which, or that table on which billiards is being played, if you just look at the board, then you see some sticks are going, from one direction to another, hitting the balls, and the balls are going inside, in various directions, and one of them or two, three of them are going into the holes in the corners. That's how billiards is played, right? But if you look at the bigger picture, there is somebody who's holding on to those sticks and who have skills how to hit with what force and which direction, right? That's how they're managing, and that's how the balls are going into those holes. So in the bigger picture, if we see in this universe, yes, the wind is flowing from one direction to another, but there is somebody overlooking that direction. Which direction should the wind flow in this at this moment? There is somebody overpowering those movements of the wind, and those are the maruts. There are various maruts who are in control of this, in this cosmic controllers. Within those, they are taking care of the directions of the wind, and Marichi out of them is the most powerful, and that's how he represents Krishna. Okay, then next, Nakshatranam Aham Shashi. Of all the nakshatras, of the stars, I am the moon. So moon reflects the light of the sun, right? But sometimes it is said that moon also has its own energy, its own light, which we cannot perceive. We see that it's reflecting, but still, even if we look at the sky at night, which is the brightest amongst all luminaries, amongst all stars, it is the moon which is standing out. So Krishna says, of all the luminaries, I am the moon. I am Shashi. Should we keep going? There are so many verses where Krishna is talking about his the vibhutis all the way till we are right now. Krishna started in 10.21 all the way to 10.37. So we in today's class want to finish all of those. We'll keep going fast. Okay, so Vedanam samavedosmi, Devanam asmi vasavaha, Indriyanam manaschasmi, Bhutanam asmi chetana. So Vedanam samavedosmi. Amongst all the Vedas, let's have somebody read the translation quickly.
Of the
Of
Of the
Vedas,
demigods,
sorry,
I
continue.
am the Veda. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind. And in living beings, I am the living force, consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. So Vedanam Sama Vedosmi. Of all the Vedas, I am the Samaved. So why is Krishna just saying Samaved only? Let's understand. So Rig Ved has many verses which give us where there's mostly invocation. There's also overlapping, but mostly in the Rig Veda there is prayers or verses or texts for invocation. So invocating various demigods, invoking various devatas. So that's what Rig Veda is. Yajur Veda means worship. Yajur means worship. So there are verses in which tell us how to worship. That's Yajur Veda. Then there is Samaved, which means glorification, or where there are beautiful rhyming verses which glorify the devatas or the higher beings. So that's what Krishna is saying. I am the Samaved, which is beautiful rhyming verses in glorification. So for all the Vedas, I'm Samaved. Also, there's Atharved. Atharved normally gives procedure of everyday life, practical procedure for everyday life. So that is what the Vedas, different four Vedas are. Out of those, Krishna says, I am the Samaved. Devanam Asmi Vasava. So amongst the gods, I am who? I am Indra, the most powerful of all gods. He's the king of all the devatas. So amongst all the devatas, I am Indra. Indriyanam manaschasmi. Of all the senses, I am the mind. But we have also learned that there are five senses, and mind is comprised in what? The subtle body, correct? Mind, intelligence, false ego. But here Krishna is saying, Indriyanam manaschasmi. Of all the indriyas, I am the mind. It is also sometimes said that the five senses are all centered, where in the center is the mind, and the five senses are covering, just like to make the mind very formidable. So where the power is coming for all the senses, the power is coming from the mind. So Krishna says, I am the mind. But that power is manifestation of Krishna. Okay, then Bhutanam Asmi Chetana. Of all the bhutas, of all the living entities, I am consciousness. What makes the living entities attractive is consciousness, right? If we see a person, Kamlamati Mataji, you raised your hand, you have a question?
I'm sorry, Mataji. Thank you. Before we go too much further, I did not hear the fourth Veda and like what its condensation
Atharva
is.
Ved.
What is
Atharva
it?
Ved.
Atharva. That's right, Atharva.
Atharva is mostly about the procedure of living, day-to-day living,
Oh,
everyday
thank you.
living.
Oh, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All right. So Bhutanam Asmi Chetana in all the living entities, I am the Chetana or I'm the consciousness. And that's what makes a person attractive. If the consciousness is not there, the gross body is just dead, right? So I'm the consciousness which makes the living entities attractive. Okay, let's keep going. 23rd verse. Rudranam Shankarashchasmi Vetesho Yaksha Raksha Sam Vasunam Pavakashchasmi Meru Shikharinam Aham. So somebody read the translation.
Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of all of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kuvera. Of the Vasus, I am fire, Agni. And of mountains, I am Meru. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Rudranam Shankaraschasmi. So for all the Rudras, I am Shankar. So Rudra we know is when Lord Brahma asked, he was given this responsibility to create, right? Lord Brahma is the Lord of creation. So he was given this responsibility, and his first four sons, the four Kumaras, Lord Brahma told them, you have to procreate, create children, and then the grandchildren and great grandchildren. I'm giving that responsibility to you. But they said, no, there's nothing great about producing children. We are not going to do that. They were very spiritual. They were not in the mode of passion. So Lord Brahma became so angry, and out of his anger came 11. Rudra. Rudra came out of his anger, and though that Rudra expanded into 11 Rudras. And out of all of those 11 Rudras, the most prominent and powerful is Shankar. Right, and then let's keep going. Of all the Rudras, I'm Lord Shiva. Vetesho Yaksha Rakshanam. So, of all the Yakshas and Rakshasas, they're also part of the universal existence and are considered to be little bit Rajasic and Tamasic. So, Rakshasas are more Tamasic, more in the mode of ignorance, and Yakshasas, they are a little bit negative. But all of them are presided over by Kuvera. Kuvera is the good one amongst all of those Rakshasas and Yakshas. So he's the good amongst the bad, correct? So that's why Krishna says that's what makes him attractive. That's what makes Kuvera attractive. So I am Kuver. He's also the treasurer of all the devatas. So he says, I am that. Krishna is saying, I am that. Vasunam Pavakashchasmi. So amongst the various Vasus, they are part of universal family, all the Vasus, and one of them is Agni. And Krishna is saying that I am Agni of all the Vasus. Meru Shikharinam Aham. Of all the many mountains which have Shikhar, the point, Shikhar, amongst them I am Mount Meru. It is the famous mountain within the universal cosmology. And Krishna says, I am that. So all of these are reflecting Krishna's glory. Okay, let's keep going. This is 24th verse. Purodhasam cha Makhyam mam vidhi partha brihaspatim senanim aham skandaha sarasam asmi sagaraha. So have somebody read the translation who hasn't yet.
Of priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief Brihaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya, and of bodies of water, I am the ocean.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
So, thank you. Purodhasam cha makhyam mam vidhi partha brihaspati. So, all the purohits, among the many priests who are all respected, I am Brihaspati, who is the priest of the demigods. And he represents me. Senani nam aham skanda. Skanda is Kartikeya's name. So amongst all the Senani nam, Senani is the commander. So of all the commanders, I am, of the Devatas, I am who? Kartikeya. So he's the chief formidable one who leads the armies of the Devtas, and he attains victories against the demons. So of all of the commanders, I am Kartikeya. Then Sarasam Asmi Sagara. Of all the many bodies of water that we see, I am the ocean. So biggest is the ocean. We all know there are ponds, lakes, rivers, and then there's the ocean, which is the biggest, vast collection of water. All right, let's keep going. 25th verse. Maharshinam Vrigur Aham Giram Asmekam Aksharam Yagyanam Japa Yagnosmi Stavaranam Himalayaha. Somebody can read the translation, please.
Of the greatest sages, I am Bhrigu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names, Japa. And of the immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Maharshi Nam Bhrigur Asmi. Of all the Maharishis, I am Bhrigu. So there is a difference between Maharishi and priests. The priests or Purohits do sacrifices, and demigods call Brihaspati to overlook any sacrifice. But Maharishis, they are not the priests. They focus more on attaining transcendence. And Krishna says, amongst all the Maharishis, I am Bhrigu. They can be married or they can be renounced also. So these are Maharishis, and amongst them I am Bhrigu. Giram Asmi Ekam Aksharam. Of all the syllables, I am Ek Akshar, which is Om, which invokes the absolute truth. And that's why it's considered very special and powerful. Om is a manifestation of Krishna. Yagyanam Japa Yagnosmi. So, of all the yagnas or sacrifices, the principle is what? Principle is we all know why does anybody do any sacrifice is to please Krishna. So this is the best way we can please Krishna, which is japa. So here is a verse where if people ask you, why do we do jap? Krishna himself says, of all the sacrifices, I am japa. That's the most powerful one, especially in Kali Yuga. The japa yagya, and Prabhupada often said that sacrifice of, it is a sacrifice. The japa is a sacrifice. So we're giving, it is the most difficult to give, right? Our consciousness. People will do sacrifice of, charity of their wealth or, their assets. They can do it. But giving charity of consciousness is most difficult. That energy of myself to give to someone is that's why it's the most powerful, especially in Kali Yuga. If anybody is willing to give that consciousness, yes, I'm giving it to please Krishna, right? We tell people, please chant. No, we don't have time. And you ask them to come for this puja where, it's very auspicious. They'll come for sure. There is Vishnu Sahasranam happening. They'll come. They'll sit there for 2 hours listening to Vishnu Sahasranam, chanting also. But you tell them 10 minutes, do japa, that's not very easy for them. Do 16 rounds, that's most important. It's not happening somehow. It's not 4, 6, yes, but 16 not happening. Why? Because we're not willing to give our consciousness. And Krishna right here is saying, if you can do that, that's the best thing. Can we do it? It's easy, but we are so complicated. Our mind is so complicated. To sit down and give that consciousness, says, this time is for you, Krishna. I am willing to speak your holy names and listen to them. That's all I want to do, sitting for 2.5 hours, or maybe divide into, several half hour. It's very difficult for people to do. But Krishna says that is the highest yajna, if you can do it. And that is what is going to give us the perfection of life, which is Krishna Prem. We're not understanding myself. I'm talking about myself also. That is the highest perfection of life, to attain that love, right? Everybody is looking for love. We say, It is said everybody's looking for happiness, but that happiness is coming through love only. So if that is what is the ultimate goal of life, attaining that happiness of reciprocation of love with somebody, because assets come and go. But that feeling of satisfaction or tripti within the heart, which we get through reciprocation of love with someone, which we hold the highest, if that is, if the perfection can be attained through that reciprocation of love with Krishna, which is prema with Krishna, if that can be attained through japa, why can't we give just 2 hours every day? It's not too much, right? Okay, let's keep going. Stavaranam Himalaya. So, of all the sthavar, things which are situated in one place, right? I am Himalaya. Because it's the most, the weight and magnitude is the greatest of Himalaya. Let's keep going.
Hare Krishna,
Prabhupada
Mataji.
says in the, yes, Mataji.
Oh, it's me. Mataji, Krishna says his Mount Meru. Also now his Himalayas also.
So
Like,
amongst the tallest is Mount Meru, but in weight and magnitude is Himalaya.
okay. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Sometimes animal sacrifices are recommended, but in the sacrifice of Hare Krishna, there is no question of violence. Prabhupada says this in the purport. He also says of all the sacrifices, the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare is the purest representation of Krishna. It's also said that when we do sacrifice of assets or dravya, we're sitting in a fire sacrifice and we're putting things in sacrifice in that sacrificial arena, we are getting purified through all of that. But the highest purification comes when we chant Krishna's names, because Krishna is the purest and he's manifesting in his names. So that's how chanting is the most potent, most powerful, and most easiest and quickest way to attain that perfection. 10.26 Ashwatha sarva vrikshanam devarishi nam cha narada gandharvanam chitraratha siddhanam kapilo munihi. Somebody read the translation, please.
Of all the trees, I am the banyan tree. Of the sages among the demigods, I am Narada. Of the Gandharvas, I am the Chitraratha. And among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All right. So Ashwatha Sarva Vrikshanam. Of all the trees, various trees, Krishna says, I am the tree Ashwatha. So it's like the banyan tree. It is very strong. It's difficult to break down. And it has many sub branches. And it creates a very strong environment for itself to live for a long, long time. That's the Ashwatha tree. So amongst all the trees, when we see the strength and the longevity of Ashwatha tree, that is representing Krishna's glory. Devarishi Nam cha Narada. Of all the Devarishis, I am who? Narada, who we know is a very special soul. So Narada represents Krishna. Gandharvanam Chitraratha. So of all the Gandharvas, I am Chitrarath. He was very special. He also one time had a fight with Arjuna, and Arjuna defeated him completely, and after that they became friends. He's also called Dadharatha because Arjuna sent a torchlight at him and his chariot got burned. So his another name is Dadharatha, and he was the leader amongst all the Gandharvas. So Krishna says, I am that Chitrarath. Siddhanam Kapilomini. Of all the perfected beings, amongst them, Kapil Dev is the special. In the third canto, he's the one who speaks to Devahuti, giving teachings. And yeah, like that. Prabhupada says he's not the atheistic Kapila. He is the son of Devahuti, and there's another Kapila, and we'll watch this also. There's a small video which we watched on Thursday in the Hindi Bhagavad Gita class. I thought it's really interesting, and many of us don't know those little details which we should also know. So we'll watch that video in the end. It's about the 6 systems of philosophy in India. And one of them was Sankhya, which was given by this Kapil Dev, which Prabhupada says, this Kapil Dev, which Kapila, which Krishna is saying, it is not that Kapila who's the atheistic one. So that atheistic Kapila gave the Sankhya philosophy, which is also one of those 6 systems. But here, when Krishna says, Siddhanam Kapilo Muni, I am that Kapila, who is which one? In the 3rd canto, son of Devahuti, who gives him her the teachings of in spiritual life. Okay, let's keep going. But says among the demigods, they also worship Narada, who is considered the greatest devotee in the universe. Thus, he is representation of Krishna as a devotee. The banyan tree Ashwatha is one of the highest and most beautiful trees, and people in India often worship it as one of their daily morning rituals. So this picture that you see is one of Ashwatha trees worshipped in India. The Gandharva planet is filled with entities who sing beautifully, and amongst them, the best singer is Chitrarath. So this is all from the purport. Okay, here we see from verse 21 to verse 26, all of these vibhutis Krishna has spoken about, and how Krishna is of Adityas. He's Vishnu, of luminaries, he's the sun, of Maruts, he's Marichi. So this is like a summary. All right, so I'll escape this one and we'll come to the next presentation, which is a continuation of Krishna speaking about the vibhutis, and we'll start from 27th verse. Uchchaishravas sam ashvanam vidhimam amrito bhavam airavatam gajendranam naranam cha naradhipam. Somebody can read.
Of horses know me to be Uchchaishrava, produced during the churning of the ocean for nectar. Of lordly elephants, I am Airavata, and among men, I am the monarch. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Uchchaishravasam Ashwanam. Ashwa is horse, we all know. Of all the horses, I am Uchchaishrava. So, Uchchaishrava was the horse who appeared when the churning of the ocean was going on. The milk ocean was being churned by the demons and the devatas. At that time, this horse also came out, and it was taken by Lord Indra. It was very extraordinary and very captivating. And Prabhupada used to say, amongst all animals, cow is she's the mother. In fact, sometimes cow is also not considered an animal at all because she's the mother. She's the most beautiful, but the most attractive of all the animals is the horse. It rides majestically. It takes people from one place to another. Even in battles, horses are, there. The soldiers sit on the horses. So like that, amongst all horses, I am Uchchaishrava, who was very beautiful and magnificent horse. Vidhimam Amrito Bhavam, Krishna says, again, this Amrit was also born out of churning of the ocean, and I am that Amrit. Then Airavatam Gajendranam, amongst all the elephants, I am Gajendra. So it can be used as a proper noun, which is Gajendra. We all know the pastime of Gajendra, right? The one who took shelter of Krishna was cursed to be an elephant when he was Indradyumna Maharaj. So that Gajendra also can mean this when Krishna says, and also Gajendra in general, of all the animals, of all the elephants, I am Airavata. So Airavat is also on whom Lord Indra rides, right? And he's very powerful also, he has a lot of strength. And Naranam cha Naradhipa. So Naran, actually here of all this is used as common noun, Gajendra. Of all the elephants, I am Airavata. And then Naranam cha Naradhipam. Of all the Naras or beings, human beings, I am the king or the monarch. So here is Ucheshwara's picture that you see. This is Airavata. And this is king amongst all humans. Okay, next 10.28. Ayudhanam aham vajram dhenunam asmi kamadhuk prajanashchasmi kandrapa sarpanam asmi vasuki.
Of weapons, I am the thunderbolt. Among cows, I am the Surabhi. Of causes for procreation, I am Kandarpa, the god of love. And of serpents, I am Vasuki.
So Ayudhanam aham vajram. Of all the weapons, I am Ayudha is weapon. So of all the Ayudhanam, of all the weapons, I am the thunderbolt. And we know how it's very formidable, it's very extremely powerful, that thunderbolt of Indra. Dhenuna masmi kamaduk. Of all the desire, of all the many cows, Dhenu, I am the desire fulfilling cow. All right, and then Prajanash Chasmi Kandarpa. Of all the Kandarpas, of all the Prajanas, I am the god of love, which is Kandarpa. So he's the one who attracts, people to one another and pierces that, we see that arrow and that pierces the heart, right? That's the god of Cupid. Cupid is his name in English. And of all of them, I am Cupid. I am Kandarpa. And then next one is Sarpanam Asmi Vasuki. Of all the snakes, I am Vasuki. Vasuki, we know, is the most powerful snake. It was used for that churning wrapped around the mountain. Mount Meru. Mount Meru, was it? Which mountain was it? Anybody remembers? Yeah. So the churning was as a rope. Huh?
Meru.
Meru. So,
Vasuki and Meru.
yeah, so Vasuki was used as a rope to churn Mount Meru when they churned the Milk Ocean. Okay. Next. This is the thunderbolt. This is Kamadhenu. And this is Cupid Kandarpa, Mount Meru. And Vasuki used as the rope. 10.29. Anantaschasmi naganam varuna yadasam aham pitrinam aryama chasmi yama samyamatam aham. Somebody can read the translation who hasn't yet read.
Of the many hooded Nagas, I am Ananta, and among the aquatics, I am the demigod Varuna. Of departed ancestors, I am Aryama, and among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, the lord of death. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Anantaschasmi naganam. Of all the Nagas, I am Anantashesh. So a Naga has many head. So there is a serpent, but what differentiates a serpent from a Naga is that a Naga has many heads, many hooded. So amongst all of those snakes which have many hoods, I am Ananta. Like Kalia was one of them. Kalia also had many hoods, right? So he was a Naga. All right. Varuno Yadasam Aham. Of all the Yadasam also means aquatics. Of all the aquatics, I am Varuna. So he's the demigod controlling water. And then Pitrinam Aryama Chasmi. Of all the ancestors, I'm Aryama. So Aryama is the chief amongst all the ancestors. In the Pitralok, it is said that Aryama is the one who's controlling the Pitralok, or he's above. Why do people go to? Okay, let's have a little quiz over here. In this world, when a person does some good things, right? People who do bad things, they go to hellish planets. We all know. Person has to do a lot of sins to go to hellish planets. And then there is somebody who, okay, what is the difference between a person going to Pitralok and a person going to Swargalok? You can answer. Why would somebody go to Swarga and not to Pitralok? Or why would somebody go to Pitralok and not to Swarga?
Mataji, it
is.
depends if you. Sorry.
Go ahead, Prabhuji. Go ahead.
Mataji, somebody who wishes to go to the Pitralokas, they go to the Pitralokas. If you do pious activities and throughout, then you go to the heavenly planets and then come down.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Kamlavati Mataji wanted to say the same thing? Okay. So a person has to do a lot of pious deeds to go to heavenly planets. But a person who has done average punya will go to Pitralok. Also, this fact that who worships the ancestors, Krishna says himself in the Bhagavad Gita, who worships the ancestors will go to the ancestors. So, a person who wishing to go to ancestors will go to Pitralok. But in general, people who don't know about worshipping ancestors or, if they have done average punya, they will go to Pitralok. And from there, then they go onward in their onward journey. But that is a place where they go if they've done average punya in life. So in Pitralok, who is the one who's the chief amongst all the ancestors? It's Aryama. So amongst all the ancestors, I am Aryama, Krishna says. Then Yama Samyam Matam Aham. Of all the dispensers of law, Samyam Matam, I am the one who brings everybody under control is Yamaraj. So of all the Yama, I'm the Yama amongst all the dispensers of law. Yes, Paramesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Coming back to the Pitralok and Swargalok, I also heard that sometimes it is like a passage, like you go through the different lokas that for some time and then you go to like Swargaloka. So you spend time in Pitraloka for your deeds, and then if you have enough, then you go to the next loka, which is the Swargaloka, and so on. And another thing I also heard is that about like sometimes you have untimely death, and you're died at a young age, or you don't have, or the person who passed away doesn't have any children or something to do the rites, or they were not done for it. So they reside in Pitralok to get some salvation, to go to the future lok, or to come back to be born as a human again. So that's also something.
Yeah. But I believe from there going to heavenly planets might be, I'm not sure, because people who have done average punya, they go to Pitralok, so they're not qualified to go to Swarga. But they might go to wherever they are in, Krishna only knows their next step, wherever. So onward journey from there. Yes. So it is one of the planets, and it's right underneath. So we have the 7 planets above and then below, right? Below, the lowest is Pitralok, and below that are the hellish planets. So for a person, for him to come to that level of Pitralok and then go all the way up to Swarg, I'm not sure how it's possible, but could be, I'm not sure. I don't know the details, but yes, I know this much, that somebody who prays to ancestors and wants to be with them goes to that planet. And then the forefathers, then one person comes, and in his generation, the one who was above, he then treads the path, goes from the Pitralok to the next, wherever he needs to go. Like that, it happens. And and a person who has done average punya also goes there. So all those facts that you've given may also be true, Prabhu. You must have read or heard from somewhere, which if it's authentic, for sure, it is true.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes.
Mataji,
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, like in Swarga, the amenities, everything is so nice that you hardly remember God there, or you don't have any chance of doing any devotional service. But what about the Pitraloka? I mean, those who are there, do they have such facilities, or is it possible to? Because in one of our Ekadashi, that Narad says that your ancestors are wanting some release. You do the Ekadashi for your ancestors. I don't know which Ekadashi it says. So is it that they are released from there, or they have to come back? I mean,
don't
just
know
for
the
the
details,
information.
Mataji. Yeah, I wouldn't know the details, but this much we all know that the best place to perfect our spiritual life is earthly Earth.
Yeah, that
That's where, yeah, not too much enjoyment, not too much suffering is there. There's a, kind of balance. And here is where the facility for the mind to, focus on Krishna, on our spiritual journey, to perfect our life in that way it's the best facility here on earth. So wherever other, souls are, we can pray for them. That's why that, prayer must be there. By Narada, you pray for your ancestors. Well, when a person becomes one of pure devotees of Krishna, then their ancestors, right, so many generations above and below, they're already liberated. That also is true. Okay, so let's keep going. 10:29. We just did this. Yama samyamatam aham. Of all the dispensers of law, I am Yama. Okay, so here is Ananta Shesh. All the hooded snakes. And then this is, I think this is Arima. Right? This is Yama. Prahladaschasmi daityanam kala kalyatam aham mriganam cha mrigendroham vainateyascha pakshinam. Among
the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlada. Among subduers, I am time. Among beasts, I am the lion. And among birds, I am Garuda. Bhagavad Gita 10.3.
Prahladaschasmi daityanam. All the daityas. So we know there was Kashyapa Muni's 2 wives, Diti and Aditi. From Aditi came all the Adityas. From Diti came all the Daityas, the demons. So from Daitya, one of them is Prahlad. So of all the demons, I am Prahlad. Because he was not a demon, he was a pure devotee of Krishna. So Kala Kalyatam Aham. Of all the subduers, I am the time, because time subdues everything, right? It's the most powerful. The greatest conqueror in the world is time. Mriganam cha mrigendroham. Of all the animals, I am the lion. The lion has, he's ferocious and he's majestic. And that's why Krishna says, of all the Mriganam, of all the animals, I'm the lion. Yes, Madhuri Mataji.
Mataji, among Aditi gave birth to the Adityas, right? 12 Adityas. And among the Adityas, Krishna is Indra, right? So also Vishnu is also mentioned in the Adityas, one of the name. Is that so?
That Aditya is different. Those Adityas, they are 12 in number. That is connected with the zodiac, the division or the path in the cosmos. And amongst all of those 12, Vishnu is the greatest in Adityas. That Aditya is different.
Okay.
Okay.
Mataji, is the 12 Adityas are sons also, isn't it? The different sons are named as Adityas, isn't it? If I'm not wrong.
Could be, Prabhu. It could be.
12 okay.
Aditya is name of another name of sun also. Yes.
12
Yeah, in the,
Adityas.
yeah, in the constellation, that's what I heard. There are 12 parts, and amongst all of them, there are different various devtas who are controlling those parts, and Vishnu is the greatest amongst all of them. Those Adityas.
Okay.
All right. So amongst the animals, I'm lion. Then Venetascha Pakshinam. Amongst the birds, I am Garuda. So Viniti was the mother of Garuda, so that's why his name is Veneta. And so amongst all the birds, I am that who is Garuda. Garuda is also carrier for Vishnu, and he's also very powerful. From slavery, he had liberated his mother also. That's another pastime. We won't get into that. All right, so Prahlad Maharaj, then time I am, and then amongst animals, I'm the lion, and then amongst birds, I'm Garuda.
Kadru and
Pavana,
Vanita. Was it Kadru and Vanita?
yeah. Kadru and Vanita, and then, yeah, there's a whole pastime, and how Garuda, who's the son of Viniti, he had saved her from slavery, from Kadru. Okay, so 10.31. Pavana, yeah, we just did this, right? No. Which one did we do? Yeah, we're at 31. Pavana pavatam asmi Rama shastrabritam aham Jasanam makkarashasmi Shrotasam asmi Janavi.
Of purifiers I am the wind, of the wielders of weapon I am Ram, of fishes I am the shark, and of flowing rivers I am the Ganges. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Pavana pavatam asmi. Of all the purifying objects in this world, amongst them I am the wind. So which purifies everything, right? That purifying potency of the wind represents Krishna. Rama Shastra Britam Aham. Of all the, amongst all who carry weapons, the most formidable one or fearsome one is Lord Ram. It can also mean Parshuram. Then Jasanam Makarashchasmi. Of all the, amongst the fish, I am shark. So shark, we know it's very swift and it's very fearsome. People have made movies on shark also. It's called, what was it called? Jaws, right? So amongst all the fish, I am shark. Then Srotasam Asmi Jahnavi. Of all the flowing rivers, I am Ganga. Jahnavi is Ganga's name. So this is for the wind, purifies everything. For Rama, could be Lord Ram or Parshuram. And amongst fish, I am shark, very ferocious. And amongst rivers, I am Ganga. 32nd word, Sarganam Adir Anantascha Madhyam Chaivaham Arjuna Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam Vadah Pravadatam Aham. Who wants to read?
Of all the creations, I am the beginning and the end, and also the middle, O Arjuna. Of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self, and among logicians, I am the conclusive truth. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Sarganam Adir Anantascha. We also saw this when Krishna said in 10.20, I am the beginning, middle, and end. That was for the living entities and the universe. Here he's talking about the non-living or the ancient and insentient things. I am the beginning, middle, and end. So Sarga, Adi, and Anta. Sarganam Adir Antascha Madhyam Chaivaham Arjunam, also the middle. Then Adhyatma Vidya, Vidyanam, of all the different kinds of knowledge, I am spiritual knowledge, Adhyatma Vidya. Well, we're in the material world, we can start from ABCs in our pre-kindergarten and then all the way to PhD, double, triple PhD, right? But then when we're born again, we have to start ABCs again. But the spiritual knowledge is never lost. Krishna says, of all the knowledge, I am the Adhyatma knowledge. I am the spiritual knowledge. Vada pravadatam aham. Of all the Pravadatam means debate, two people having debate. Of all the debates, Krishna said, or the arguments, I am Vada. So Vada is the most powerful, or logically, which is powerful. Which, in chess, like you say, there is checkmate. In debate, you say that there is Vada, which knocks out. The other person has nothing then to say. So that's Vada. So amongst debate, I am Vada. 33 Aksharanam Akarosmi Dvandva Samaksikasya cha aham eva kshaya kalo dhataham vishvato mukha.
Of letters, I'm the letter A, and among compound words, I'm the dual compound, and I'm also inexhaustible time, and of creators, I am Brahma. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Aksharanam akarosmi. So in all the letters, I am what? The letter A. The letter A in Sanskrit, it is said that Akshara is there in each and every letter. If you write her, it ends with A Rama. We always say A Rama, Sa Rama. Like that ends with, even Sa ends with a small A. That's why when you write in English, it ends with, like in Sanskrit, you see cha in the second line, but here in English, you see ca, because when you say cha, it ends with the sound of right? Cha. So a comes with all the letters. That's why in Sanskrit, it is like expressing through each letter with the letter a. It is also said that Sanskrit is the only language in the world where all emotions can be expressed through the language Sanskrit. So it's very, very profound, very beautiful. Okay, Dvandva Samakshikasya cha. So Samakshika is compound words. So amongst all the compound words, Krishna says, he is Dvandva Samakshikasya cha. So when you use compound words, one word holds more importance normally than the other. But there are compound words where both the words hold importance, like Rama Krishna, like Krishna Chaitanya, right? Both are holding equal importance. So like that, amongst compound words, I am Dvandva. Samakshikasya cha. All right. Okay, let's keep going. Aham ekakshaya kalo. Here Krishna is representing about the power of time. So amongst the subduers, I am time. Okay, let's give then one more. Dhatanam Vishvato Mukha. Krishna says, I am. Vishvato Mukha also refers to Lord Brahma. So amongst the various creators, Lord Brahma is the manifestation of Krishna's opulence. So he is the that capacity to create in Lord Brahma is coming from Krishna. That's Krishna's opulence. Mrityu sarvaharashchaham ubhavascha bhavishyatam kirti shrivak cha narinam smriti medha dhriti shama. Somebody can read the translation.
During death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Mrityu Sarva Haraschaham. I am the all-devouring death, which Harashaham, which takes away everything. So it takes away our possessions, all our assets, the big buildings that we've created, even our own children. Everything is snatched away at the time of death. So Mrityu Sarva Harashaham. So I am that death which steals away everything. Then Ubhavascha Bhavishyatam. I am the principle underlying the creation of future generations. So I'm the generating principle of all that is yet to come. Kirti Shri Vakcha Narinam. Krishna says, I am the fame, beauty, and fine speech of all the women. And then he says, Smriti Medha Dhriti Shama. I am also Smriti, which is memory. Then Medha, intelligence. Steadfastness, which is Dhriti. And Shama is patience or forgiveness. So all of that, which are qualities seen in women, they are all coming from me. Brihatsama tatha samnam Gayatri chandasam aham Masanam marga shirshoham Ritunam kusumakaraha. Let's read the translation. We'll come to you, Madhuri Mataji. You have a question maybe or a reflection? Okay, I'll read the translation of all the hymns in the Samaveda. I am the Brihat Sam, and the poetry, I am the Gayatri. Of months, I am Margashirsha, November, December, and of seasons, I am the flower-bearing spring. Yes, Madhuri Mataji.
Mataji, in the previous verse, Krishna said he has the qualities of fame, memory, and all. Like those are the feministic qualities. Like among women or in men also, there are no fame, fortune, speech, memory, intelligence, and all.
So all those
So
coming
this
from
is
Krishna only. Yes, not just women, but
but among women, I am fame. He has written. So among men also, it is no the fame, intelligence, memory, and all.
Correct. See, in general, what Krishna is telling all of us is how, when we see intelligence, memory, steadfastness, especially in women, we can remember him. This is what Krishna is telling in these verses. But in general, whenever we see any such opulence, we have to understand it's coming from Krishna. So here, importance is not on women, importance is on Krishna, that these qualities are coming from Krishna. So like importance is not, for example, on shark. Importance is how powerful, and that quality of ferociousness, that is coming from Krishna. Get it?
And Mataji, all these populences ever are temporary. So they are saying that it should be ducted in the service of Krishna because it is temporary.
Correct. Yes.
All that is fine, Mataji, but this among women, these words are very confusing.
It's confusing
it
for
is
you?
giving a different meaning. It's not giving. He could have said the opulences like fame, fortune, speech, memory, intelligence are all coming from me. It is so easy to understand.
There is
But why
another.
this among women, I am fame,
There is
fortune,
another
and
take to this because Smritir, Megha, Dhriti, Shama, they are all feminine qualities. Like in themselves, some words in Sanskrit, some words are masculine, some are feminine. All these words, they might be feminine. That's why it's also related with women here. That is what my take is on
this
this.
is the noun is gender centric. That is understood. But only among women he has written, then that
He's
is
not said only among
debatable.
women. He's not said this. He
Clearly
has
written
said
among
among.
women, I am fame. So, okay, I'll take it in a way like these are
Generic way. Yeah, we take
feminine
it in
gender
Just
nouns.
forget the word woman.
take it
See,
in
when a
generic
deity
way.
becomes,
Like, go ahead, Prabhu.
when a deity becomes, when a person becomes a devotee, he acquires all these qualities, feminine qualities, even the voice and all. You can see this Maharaja voice, they are becoming feminine. If you notice, as and when he
Yes.
progresses, yeah, in the devotional service, all the characters are becoming that. Smriti, Deta,
Oh,
Diti, Shama. Yes.
fine. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So the hymns in the Samaved, we did this earlier, how Krishna says, I'm Samaved amongst all the Vedas. And we understood how in the Samaveda there are, hymns and glorification. So in Samaveda, I'm the Brihat Sam, where there is, which must be very poetic and very beautiful. And the poetry, I am Gayatri. Of the months, I'm Margshish. And of the seasons, I'm the flower bearing spring. Let's keep moving. 1036. Dyutam chalayatam asmi tejasvinam aham jayosmi vyavasayosmi sattvam sattvatvatam aham. I'm also the gambling of the cheats and of the splendid. I am the splendor. I am the victory. I am adventure and I am the strength of the strong. So, of the cheats, yeah, chayatam means cheating, and amongst all forms of cheating, I'm gambling. So normally when we are cheated, normally nobody wants to be cheated, right? But we may try to resist and even fight off people who are trying to cheat. But somebody, even if somebody who's willingly, people go for these gambling especially in Vegas, if you go, there are so many places where you can go and gamble, get cheated and get defeated and lose all your money, right? Where a person is so deluded, the person voluntarily goes and gets cheated. So Krishna is saying gambling here, when Krishna says, I am also gambling of the cheats, he's saying whatever you see here, which might see, there is opulence. That's why people go to Vegas. There's some attraction there. They feel that when they put money, they might get so much money also in return. That's why they're putting their money, slowly losing everything. And some people also get rewarded, right? They get so much money back. So that's what gamble is all about. So Krishna is saying, of all the cheating, I am gambling. That's the most, where you put little and you get so much in return. You can get so much in return. So in all cheating, I'm gambling. Of all the splendid, I'm the splendor. Of all the things that we look around, which seem so splendid or charismatic, Krishna is saying, I am that charisma in them. I'm victory and I'm adventure. I'm strength of the strong. So very easy to understand, right? Let's keep going. Vrishinam Vasudevosmi Pandavanam Dhananjaya Muninam Apyaham Vyasaha Kavinam Ushana Kavihi. Of the descendants of... Go ahead, somebody wants to read. Please go ahead.
Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudeva, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Of the sages, I am Vyasa, and among great thinkers, I am Ushana. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Vrishinam Vasudevosmi. Our Acharya has explained that he is referring to Balramji over here. And that Balram is a manifestation of my opulence. Of course, both Krishna and Balram, they are sons of Vasudev through different wives, Devaki and Rohini. Right? So here Krishna is referring to Balramji. Pandavanam Dhananjaya. Of all the Pandavas, he's saying, I am Dhananjaya, I'm Arjun. So he's talking to Arjun and he's telling Arjun how I am Arjun, because also he had skills of being the best archer, but he was also the best devotee of Krishna, right? He had special devotion and love for Krishna. So he's, in that sense, he's very special with his intense devotion. So of all the Pandavas, I am Arjun. Muni Nam Apyaham Vyasa. Of all the Munis, Vyasa is the greatest among all the Munis, sage. So of all the sages, I am Vyasadev. Kavinam Ushna Kavi. So Ushna refers to Shukracharya. So all the priests of, he's the priest of Asuras, and so that might seem a little complicated, right? But Krishna is taking his name, Shukracharya, because he had faith in the power of Vedic rituals to some extent, and he was a very powerful priest. Okay, let's keep going. Kavinam Ushna Kavi. And that is, of all the thinkers, I am Ushna. All right, we end with this, and then here is again a summary of all the vibhutis that Krishna just spoke about and how he is that. So 39 in total. Sorry, not 39, there are so many. Hold on. From verse 21 to verse 37. There are so many. So Ushna is name of Shukracharya. Okay, here's the video that we want. Any questions or any comments from today's class? Yes, Kamlavati Rajshi.
This goes back to the video that you showed of the cells as their
embryos.
I was struck by how similar we are to the cow. When I was looking at the human versus the other ones, the cow, we looked in several of the slides, we looked a lot more like the cow. I don't know if anyone else noticed that.
I also didn't notice. Okay. Yeah.
But it was that's very auspicious, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, well, in the beginning, I couldn't make out who is who, right? Which
No.
embryo is, even in the second stage, but third made it clear. So when Krishna says he's the Adi, how he is, that force which is the beginning for all, it looks quite similar and equal.
Mm-hmm.